Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. All throughout the month, it is Troll Lord Games Month, and today I am going to be sharing a quick review of a book which I don't think a lot of people are aware is from Troll Lord Games, and that is the Storyteller's Thesaurus. It is written by James M. Ward and Ann K. Brown, with Tim Burns as editor and cover artwork provided by Peter Bradley. This 552-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $34.99. You can score just the PDF alone for $19.99. I do want to mention it's currently part of a bundle which is available from Troll Lord Games, which includes the Thesaurus as well as the Storyteller's Dictionary. I'm not sure how long that bundle is going to go on for, but you can get both books together for an MSRP of $49.99, or just grab both PDFs for $19.99. So you can get both PDFs for $19.99 as opposed to just one. All right, having said that, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got the Storyteller's Thesaurus. Couple of things I want to mention before we jump on in. First of all, my friends over at Troll Lord Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. But neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this review with you. These days, it's important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the Thesaurus, but I do want to give you a good feel for what's inside this book. Now, some of you might be wondering, geez, Jeff, why are you reviewing a thesaurus? Well, the reality is, if you are a writer, or if you are a game designer, adventure creator, or game master, you can certainly use what is inside this book. Now, I will point out that the main focus is on fantasy, history, and horror. But if you are a creator who's working on a science fiction project, there's a lot inside this that you can utilize as well. So this is going to be broken up by chapters with various different subjects. And that's how the thesaurus will break down over about 150 pages. The rest of the book is an index. And I know a lot of folks out there are probably going to think, wow, hundreds of pages of index? The index is really well put together, though. I do want to point that out. So if you are looking for a particular term to replace a word that you use constantly, and this is something that I say to game masters all the time, is that you really should build your vocabulary, because if you use the same words over and over again during your game sessions, they start to lose their power. So this will come in very, very handy. So as an example, some of the chapters we've got are clothing, we've got gear, architecture, I should say equipment and tools, not necessarily gear, the military, weapons, transportation, religion. Here we've got geology, geography, meteorology, and botany. And as you can see, we've got all of these different breakdowns. So woody plants, shrubs, and then all throughout this, these are all various different shrubs, different trees, chemistry, planets and moons, the arts. So we have dance, we've got ballet terms, dance clothing, music, musical vocabulary as far as general words, composition types, musical styles. So as you can see, the font is relatively small as well. So there is a lot of information being packed into each of these pages. We've got animals and creatures. We've got monsters. We've got magic. So there are a lot of various different entries in here, various different chapters. So as an example here, we've got legendary and mythological objects, legendary, mysterious, mythical items and locations. The thesaurus portion of this is excellent. It is so well done. We've just got descriptive terms. We've got horror. We've got some entries devoted to that too. Then we have some appendices, and then we'll get into the index. And as you can see, this index is just extensive. So as an example, brimstone. Okay, so it's under minerals. There's the page we can find brimstone on, and then you're going to find various different entries that you could utilize, possibly instead of just the word brimstone. This will work so nicely with, as I mentioned before, writers, game designers, adventure creators, and game masters of all stripes. Really, really well done. But as you can see, yes, hundreds of pages comprise this index. I would have liked to have seen more entries, little less index, but it is what it is, essentially. This is so nicely done. I will say that I like the dictionary a little bit better, not a ton, but I do like the Storyteller's dictionary, which I'll be reviewing tomorrow, a little bit better than the Thesaurus, but I certainly recommend the Thesaurus also. All right, so that's a quick peek inside. Let's swing on over to the other camera so I can share some final thoughts as well as my review score. This is packed with a lot of information. It really, really is. And yes, I understand about 150 pages make up the thesaurus, whereas the rest of it is the index. But within those 150 pages, you are going to find tons and tons of vocabulary for you to utilize. And that is the main selling point of this overall. Sure, the index helps you out if there's a word that you're thinking of and you're like, okay, rather than search through to find out what category it's going to be in, why don't I just look in the index? Yes, of course, makes life far, far easier. But as I had already pointed out, I would have liked to have seen a few more pages devoted to the thesaurus portion of the book as opposed to the index portion. But all in all, I really do recommend this for the writers and creators out there and game masters as well. So on a score of 0 to 10, I give the Storyteller's Thesaurus a 7 out of 10. I certainly do recommend it. And I also want to once again remind you, it is available in a money-saving bundle from Troll Lord Games, where you can get both the thesaurus as well as the dictionary for $49.99 as opposed to just $34.99 for the thesaurus itself. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this quick review, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. And of course, when you're not watching videos here on the channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, I certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.